Without taking his eyes off her, he started moving in her direction. She gave the young man in the red jacket an easy smile, and as she handed him the keys, Ben heard her caution, "Be careful with him." A woman after his own heart. His attention had been on the beautiful woman in 4-inch heels, but now he realized that his subconscious had caught the smell of unburnt gas. A lot of mechanics these days only knew computerized injection and timing systems, and wouldn't understand that the smell of unburnt gas meant there was a problem with the classic car. The issue was often the carburetor needing to be adjusted. That was something he could usually diagnose immediately just from the sound of the engine. He must have missed that with the pulse of her music. He fell into step with her as they began walking toward the glass revolving doors. "Beautiful ride," he said. She smiled politely, like that was something she'd heard 1,000 times before. "Thanks." "Primus, huh?" he asked, gesturing for her to go first into the moving door. She eyed him cautiously, but didn't object to briefly entering the confined space with him. "What else would I listen to with the top down?" she asked, the corners of her mouth turning up as they began the walk down the long marble corridor with its large Persian area rugs leading to the hostess. "I can't think of anything better. Did you know they're coming to the Fox Theater in August?" "I did know. They even have tickets." "Really? Me too." "I so do not." He wasn't that good at lying, so decided to change the subject to something he was more comfortable with. "You might want to see about getting your carburetor adjusted. It's probably hard to hear the knocking with how loud you play your music, but something isn't running right with your engine." She slowed down and looked up at him with a smirk. Although they were still several feet from the hostess, the lighting was much brighter than it had been outside, and he was startled by how blue her eyes were. "So, how exactly could you tell that, if my music was so loud?" she asked, like she thought he was full of shit. It was his turn to smirk. "By the smell." She stared at him for a moment, before nodding with a small smile, as if she now believed he knew what he was talking about. "Thanks for the tip." He was reaching for a card to hand her when his phone started to ring. Whoever's calling is dead. Instead of pulling his business card from his pocket, he pulled out his phone and glanced down to see a younger, prettier version of himself on his screen. "Excuse me, I have to take this." "My favorite brother," was Laura's greeting. After that, he wasn't really listening to her. He was too busy watching the vintage vet girl talking to the hostess and contemplating how he was going to talk to her again before he left tonight.